everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 2 of Black Ink and Blue Blood.
We may be live, but we will not all be alive, I have a feeling.
When we last left off, the party explored the town of Sunspot after clearing it of Geogran deserters who had
Ghost
taken
town.
up residence. Searching around, the party found evidence that the town was not only inhabited by these deserters, but by what Caro was able to identify as a construct. At the same time, Gil, Zephyr, and Caleb encountered the machine patrolling outside of what used to be the Baron's mansion of this town. The machine appearing to patrol the town before returning to the manor and powering down out on the porch. But after encountering it thrice, Gil finally refused its demands for compliance, sending the machine into attack mode. Firing a powerful gun that fires an army's worth of bullets, Gil retreated further into the mansion where the machine couldn't follow for risk of breaking the dying burnt wood of the stairs, only to feel the building rumble as the machine breaks out its siege cannon, trying to bring the building down and hopefully Gil with it. With that, those of you at camp or on the way to it, you're about 2/3 of the way. You should arrive at camp around in the ballpark of the next 20 minutes at your current pace. What would you all like to do? In the distance, you hear a distant cannon being fired.
Okay. Yuto, I only need 4 hours of sleep, so I don't mind, taking watch first.
Caleb's just like, I want to take the first because I'm not feeling tired yet.
She kind of shuffles a little bit and she's like, all right, then I guess I'll take second. Unless you wanted to, Zephyr.
I'll take neither.
Sorry?
I said I will take neither.
Okay. Carol, do you want to take a shift?
Okay.
Okay. So do you want second shift then?
Sure.
Okay, and then I will take.
As they're discussing all this, Zephyr will turn around.
Wait, where are you going?
Well, I think most of us are fine with leaving Gil to his devices. It doesn't sound like he's boding well, and he still has some youth.
Zephyr, he's not learning his lessons. We've had this conversation with him many times, especially right after we had that incident in Mercurial. I just don't know.
Oh, I don't disagree with you, but like I said, he has his juices, so I will see.
Yeah, like taking all of the hits if we're ever like with an enemy. Like, what other uses has he done?
Well, I mean, the one you have mentioned is a pretty useful one. I've noticed. It helps me and probably our brother as well. But I might have some other ideas that I can think of, but can't really. He will serve no use as a dead man.
I kind of stop in my tracks and look back at the house and
The house.
question, DM, am I still in a really bad mood?
you are certainly irritable, but you're basically in the expected mood. Like basically, it's not like supernaturally clandestinely induced. You still have a pretty sharp headache. Still going through withdrawals from the Star Blast, but so basically, you're not feeling great, but it's sort of within your control.
Okay.
And to answer your question, Zephyr, you can just, if you look, because most of the town is already damaged, if you look, you can just barely make out the rooftops of the manor.
Here is my other point, Zephyr. Personally, I am almost tapped. I cannot do very much magic, and I am not a fighter. I cannot. I have a sword. I can use a sword just fine. You know, I'm not very good at it, but I can try. But, like, I don't think that we are in our top game to even think about helping him.
Well, for starters, I'm not asking you to join me. I simply walked off and you asked me where I was going. Secondly, wouldn't that be more of a reason to have him? Because, as you mentioned, you're not much of a fighter, so if we lose Gil, that would mean that you would probably be in the front lines of everything.
I did it today, did I not?
I mean, a little bit, but Gil was also still there. I mean, granted, again, he has some lessons to learn, but he still
Yes,
has
but he's too
usefulness.
hard-headed. He doesn't seem to learn these lessons.
Yeah, and I understand, but his usefulness outweigh his stubbornness at the moment, at least,
Does it though?
from what I can see. Yes.
Just explain to me. I mean, I'm willing to hear you out, Zephyr. You know, which is like, you know,
I'm
very rare
again.
because,
I'm
like, I don't really care what you think. But I am very interested to hear why you think he is so valuable to us. To the point where we want to risk our lives to go back for him.
well. I mean, again, if you heard me before, I'm not asking you to help right him,
I know, but I want to know.
but again, besides being a relatively nice meat shield, being someone who can tank a lot or be able to withstand a lot of damage and distract the enemies while possibly myself and my brother can get a good shots in. Uh, but more or less just some ideas that pop in my head of why I personally see some use. But yeah, that's why I myself am going. You guys can rest up, get all your get all
Well,
your stamina back.
if if you think that it is worth it, I know that you know, you don't seem like the kind of person to me to be like not to go back for somebody, just anybody. So, like, I want to know, like, you're telling me these things, but you're not telling me the full things, I think. Like, I don't think you're fully telling me why you want to go back for him.
May be correct, but
I'm just saying, I'd gladly help. I'll turn my ass around for him. I don't want to, but I will if you can tell me why.
well, as I think in the future, me and Gil could do some business.
My eyes narrow very, very slightly.
Hey.
Hello, our bard has joined us. At the moment, Zephyr and Lucian, the rest of the party is all there. You guys are still on your way back to camp, and everyone sans Gil is basically debating at this point. Zephyr wants to go back for Gil, and Lucian is currently standing their ground.
Right.
I
Zephyr's not trying
cross
to
my
convince him
arms.
to come back. He's just trying to leave.
Oh
no,
yeah.
no,
Also-
I cross my arms and just
Can you
kind
hear-
of loll my head around
Just to-
business.
Just to make sure, can you hear me okay? This is a new headset,
Yeah.
so...
Yeah, you sound
I
fine.
can hear you.
Alright, cool.
Crystal clear.
Gotta turn you up a little bit because I'm deaf. Anyways, so I just kind of like loll my head around a little bit and just business. I should have known. But what about the rest of us? We are a team, like Caleb has pointed out. We need to start acting like a team. So, to me, he decided he was going to think of himself and he was going to go do something for himself. So I don't see what the point is.
I get that. And frankly, on a normal standard, if it was, someone who I found no use for, I would agree. But again, I see some potential, and so I would like to see about if I can save that potential.
I look at the others. What do you guys think?
I think his potential is to potentially get us into a fight we didn't need to be in.
Thank you, Caleb.
Which I think, and obviously fights that we might not be able to win.
Thank you, Caleb.
And
One time.
this is more than one time, but and well,
It is definitely more than one time.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Wow. I was like,
Even the DM is like, yeah, dude.
but
Good try.
Not just in this game either.
wow, I mean,
Yep.
well, the
Yep.
other characters, you can't. It's one thing, but
That's out of character. We can't, we
Yeah.
gotta focus.
but either
Focus
way,
on the now.
but either way, and
Don't focus on his past or future lives.
Carol, Carol, Carol,
we
do
know
you
for
think
sure
that we
it's
should
gonna
go...
happen again.
Carol, do you think that we should go back for this hazard?
well, Zephyr's just going to just kind of like just give like this, honestly, kind of like I'm done sigh and walk away.
All right. So,
We're
Caro,
just gonna go.
Valid.
as Lucian asks you this, you see Zephyr's already heading off to assist Gil.
Carol?
He
Wow.
does get us into a lot of trouble, but maybe it would be good to go get him. You don't have to go. I will go, and I will help Cypher.
Raccoon?
Am I there?
Yeah.
everyone's there.
Everyone stands Gil's here.
Alright.
Gil is
Um,
currently being murdered.
Valid though.
I mean, the thing is, Zephyr might have a
Raccoon, if you want us to go, I will go. But only if you say.
I mean, Gil has helped us when we are in trouble, so maybe it would be good to.
Lucian kind of like throws her head back and just looks at the sky and just exhales this long, furious,
Between the most like kind of.
It's just like it's true. I didn't even think
Yeah.
about that.
You're right. Zephyr, wait for us. We're coming to you.
Zephyr's booking it.
Turn around.
Caleb, everyone else seems to have more or less come into an agreement. What are you going to do?
Caleb is going to make that like. I mean, I don't know if anybody else associates it with kids, but that just kind of childish huff.
Yes.
And he's like, don't expect me to go into the front for him.
Oh man, that's good.
All right.
We'll scrape his dead body off of the ground. It's fine.
All right. So,
Does this mean I have to heal him?
Possibly. Yeah. Depends.
You all break
That's just
out.
like, oh, the turning point has finally come.
Well, I'm going to let this play out first.
True.
We may
So
just decide, this ain't worth it.
So you guys all break out into a harsh, exhausting sprint. Now, I'll say with each of
Caleb
you,
is going to go wide to get onto a building and just shoot from the maximum range of his musket.
okay, are you going to stay
Well,
on
the
the building?
maximum range he can shoot without disadvantage.
Okay, are you going to do that when you get there, or like preemptively?
Before the robot would have a chance to notice him.
Okay, so I'll keep that in mind for just when you guys pretty much are getting there. So, you guys all break out into a sprint with your maximum movement speeds, all of you running at just a dead sprint. Basically, it would still take you somewhere in the ballpark of 10 minutes to get there, but I will say you can push yourselves a little bit harder to get there faster, but you will suffer exhaustion when you arrive.
Wait, even with my bonus speed?
Yeah, because the speed you sent me privately is the max you can go, right?
Oh yeah, with or just normal movement speed, an action, and a bonus action. How I can get that?
So with that, if you're willing to
Caleb
go,
is not going to do that.
yes. So I'll say Zephyr, without the points of exhaustion, you could get there in 5 minutes without pushing yourself super hard. But again, it would still take you some time, and that would put you significantly ahead of the others. So it might take some time for reinforcements.
I mean, fine with me.
Okay. So as you all start breaking out into a sprint, heading back in the direction you hear the gunfire.
Hear me?
Yeah, you're
Yes.
good.
Okay, sorry.
That's all good.
That's okay.
You all see Zephyr start kind of steadying himself before breaking out into an even faster sprint.
Honestly, I
cleaving
just
off
imagine with him being
ahead
like
of
a
all of you.
lizard.
It's
Like
like a
a
fucking
lizard.
gecko.
I imagine he just like goes onto like all fours and starts running like that, like
That's
a
exactly
lizard.
what I was thinking too.
Like a kind of
Zephyr?
galloping run.
Is that? Are you
Yeah.
asking is that how I run now?
Yeah, if you want, you don't have to
Because
specify.
he's a little lizard guy and he's got that tail that'd give him amazing balance.
Does that mean that when he runs across water, he's like those little?
Run across
Yes, I know
water?
that.
What?
He's a little lizard
You would have to
person,
take a
right?
couple levels in monk to do that, but yeah.
I was like, run
He's a
across
lizard
water.
person, right?
Yeah, half
Oh.
canine, half lizard.
Like I think they're like part
Oh,
dragon.
even more so.
I think the whole thing is like
yeah.
they're part dragon, right?
Yeah, they have draconic heritage. So just for flavor, it won't actually affect your
I
statistics.
know.
Is that how you run?
Sure, you can.
Damn, I got 5 views on my Terraria stream.
Nice.
Nice,
That's
good on you.
amazing. That's amazing. It was like, yay, I am actually
I love
slightly above
imagery.
completely no one watching.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, every little bit helps. So yeah, so you all see Zephyr break out into this quadrupedal insane run.
But raccoon doing that.
Oh
all right. So does anyone else have anything they want to do to boost their speed at all?
I don't think I have anything right now.
Okay.
That I
Yeah,
can
so
do.
bear in mind, just if you want to do this, you can push yourselves even harder to get there even faster, but you will suffer a point of exhaustion when you arrive.
No, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, okay. So, for now, we cut back to the inside of the manor. Gil, you find yourself in the hallway just after, and you can hear several presumably objects left behind, furniture turning over or outright breaking as the whole manor rocks and vibrates, and you can actually feel it beneath your feet dangerously begin to sway already as the already like weakening supports are pushed even harder. And you gather from the immediate tilt that this machine seems smart enough to aim for the support columns to take the whole building down in as few shots as possible. What would you like to do?
So
Okay,
in this picture,
at the end of the hallway, what do I see at the end of the hallway?
Is he
Your
crunchy for you guys too?
A little bit, but I can understand them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got it.
crunchy.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. No, you guys, the internet can be a little flippity floppity.
I'm using my phone actually.
Well, point stands. You're currently in a hallway, not counting the one you just left. There's 5 doors, 2 on either side, and 1 directly ahead of you.
So I want to go through the door directly ahead of me.
All right. You going full tilt, or just like, are you taking it kind of slow?
Full tilt.
All right. You start sprinting down the way, and if this is good with you, the door is fairly weak, and you're like adrenaline full tilt going. If you wish, you are able to easily just bash down the door rather than stop to open it.
Yeah, I'm just like putting my shoulder into it as I run.
Okay. As you break your way through the dead, rotten, and burnt wood, you find yourself in this large, almost looks like a sort of lobby area. You see 2 winding staircases on either side of you, and directly in front of you, beneath what appears to have once been a chandelier, but any jewels or things that hung from it have since been removed, overlooking a large window. It doesn't have a balcony, but just a window that gives what would have once been a good big view of the town if it wasn't for it being a smoldering wreckage at this point.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick look out the window. Make sure I have like I'm not gonna land on anything if I was trying to jump through, right?
You from your best guesstimate, yeah, you're decently high up, but not so high that like the momentum would carry you towards anything dangerous. But it's not going to be a soft landing, to say the least.
So Gil's gonna back up to the door. He's gonna sprint, and he's gonna dive through the window and try to do a roll to break his fall zone.
Unless you have an ability to do that, you can say you're doing that for flavor, but you are still going to take fall damage for the record.
Oh yeah, definitely taking the fall damage, but that's just like a little spice.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Just to clarify, you can't just say I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
That's what separates us from the monks. All right, so as you back up to the door, you hear it in the distance, and the rest of you running towards the area can hear it too. And Gil, you feel the building very violently, and like you actually see your view out the window escalating as the whole building starts to dangerously tilt backwards, almost as if it's in danger of caving over under its own weight at this point. And not wasting any time, you run and you jump.
Can I also say while I'm in midair, I'm going to shout on the elevator to say, "Peace out!"
Wow.
Yeah, just like shouting at the elevator, shut the machine. You win!
All right. As you break the glass of this, what once was a beautiful window, you see the dirt and rocky ground coming up to meet you. As you prepare to roll to the best of your ability and break your fall, you take 8 bludgeoning damage. as you hit the ground, roll, and you feel your legs immediately become like sore and weak. And as you stand to your feet, your knees are actually shaking from the impact, but you're still standing. And as you look, and the rest of you can see this too, the roof gives one final tilt. And Gil, at your distance, you can hear as the planks of wood supporting it begin to gradually break under their own weight, and the whole manor begins to tilt, tilt, and tilt before, in the opposite direction of you, Gil, so it's not on top of you, cave in and fall over completely towards the street.
I'm sorry, what happened?
Well,
The building fell over.
made that out in time. So I'm guessing so after the building falls over, does machines
Make a perception check.
What did he say? Is he crunchy to anybody else?
And then
He's
he
crunchy,
is.
but I can understand him.
Yeah, like
I can't.
you can kind of pick out like, okay, after the building falls.
I really can't.
Yeah, he said after the building falls. I think you I kind of cut out a bit, but like basically
He's looking to see if the machine withstood the impact.
Yeah, like what happened to the machine,
30,
basically.
20?
I'm pretty sure it probably could withstand a bunch of rotting wood falling on it.
All right, Gil, as you stand to your shaky legs, you keep a grip on your blade and look around. And as burnt rubble and the remains of furniture just scatter, destroyed in the street, are scattered across the front garden and like blown across the street, you actually initially don't see anything, even where the machine presumably had been standing. But after a small delay, you hear from under the rubble, sort of midway between where the building had been standing and the street, presumably having been in the garden when the building fell over. You hear that same garbled language that you can't understand. And you see rubble begin to crack and give way as you hear cranking gears.
I book it.
All right, which way are you going?
I'm going over the fence.
All right.
I'm going back to the corner edge. Going over the fence.
All right, make me an athletics or acrobatics check, your choice.
15.
Okay. You jump up, careful not to hurt your hands on the spiked tops of the fence, and heave yourself over, your arms thankfully not as shaken up as your legs, and roll to land on the other side and immediately start making a mad dash back towards camp. And as you take chance a glance back, you see the machine lifting itself out of the rubble, and it seems almost entirely unhurt. As it's the lights scattered in all four directions around itself still continue to peer around, and you can see it holding up that the weapon on its hand that you have not seen it use yet, as it simply searches for you as you make a mad dash, sliding between buildings to keep yourself out of its line of sight as you make your dash towards camp.
So are we gonna meet in the middle?
Yeah. Gil, you run, and you run, and you run. And Zephyr, as you make your mad sprint, you see Gil step out onto the street, making a mad dash in the opposite direction of you, but you see him coming quickly enough to be able to get yourself out of the way so you don't literally run into each other. And Gil, it actually takes you a moment as you're kind of splitting your attention to make sure you're not being followed. But you see Zephyr kind of dodging out of your way, and both of you having to kind of skid to a stop in the street.
Run! It's crazy! Run!
And where do you plan on going?
Anywhere else.
Anywhere else? If you're
I
saying
don't care anymore.
well, you actually think it's going to follow you, I probably wouldn't go back to the camp that we're all kind of, staying at.
It's still looking for me, but I'm gonna go that way. I'll meet you back at Camp Supain. See you in a bit. And he's gonna book it off again.
All right. Zephyr, Gil, with that, Gil immediately continues his mad dash back towards camp. What would you like to do?
But I'm taking a different route.
Okay. So that you're not followed?
Yeah.
Make me a since it's not, because this is trying to avoid being tracked, make me a survival check.
Nat 20.
All right. So
It was pretty funny hearing it. Nah, 20.
all right.
A
So
nat 20 in slow motion.
so making your mad dash between buildings and alleyways, taking as indirect of a route back to camp as possible. Zephyr, what would you like to do?
Well, I guess I will look in the direction he came from to see if I can see someone's following him.
Make me a perception check.
Perception, I have good stuff in there. A dirty 20.
Okay. You hold your position and you watch and you wait. You don't hear anything. And as far as you can tell, you don't see anything either. The town appears to be as ghostly as ever, although you can see the much narrower skyline where the manor had simply fallen over from the impacts of whatever the two of them had been doing.
Yes, since he wasn't followed, and I guess he's okay now. Just casually walk back.
All right. Since Gil's taking a very indirect route, the rest of you making your still impressive sprints, but not quite to Zephyr's sheer speed, see Zephyr walking back towards all of you very slowly and casually, seeming much calmer.
Okay, I come to a halt and kind of try to catch my breath. Oh, he's dead? No, I'm just kidding. What happened?
Well, I didn't really see a full thing. I just like the building is that the robot or the construct that was guarding is seems like it's no more. But I saw Gil run off towards generally the area towards the camp.
Okay, so I guess we go back to camp.
Yeah.
All right. I'm walking this time. I'm not running anymore.
Yeah, all of you, Zephyr included, are very exhausted from making that mad sprint. Not having a level of exhaustion, just, like...
Yeah,
Very
okay.
tired.
Yeah. All right. Anything from the other three? I know Raccoon's having difficulties with their internet as well. So anything from Kara or Caleb, or are you guys good to head back?
I guess we'll head back then.
Just go rest.
Okay. You all begin much slower, having a chance to all of you breathing kind of raggedly and sweating a bit, begin to work your way back towards Camp Zephyr, keeping a ready ear and eye out for anything notable. But you've heard this thing walk. It's not exactly a stealthy machine. And you all begin to work your way back to camp. You all arrive. It takes a while, but you all arrive to see that Gil has already gotten there ahead of you, seeming ragged and exhausted. But he definitely has taken some licks, but he seems like he's relatively fine. But you can
Well,
see.
Okay, I was going to say
Hang on. Let
when
me.
when they actually get back to camp, you're actually going to find Gil sitting on the ground next to the fire.
You okay there?
Or not.
Arms
I
around
Would
his
would it be
legs,
possible for
going
you
back
two
and
to
forth.
share? Because we can usually hear
That
Gil
machine.
over
That machine.
Amanda's
That
headset.
machine.
Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
yeah,
much better.
I can
So
still.
mute,
I can
mute
still
your
hear
mic and
Gil.
keep your
Still,
headphones
we are
on.
still hearing what you were saying before.
For a bit, yeah, it's gone now.
Is this better?
Yes, much. Okay, continue. So sitting on the
So
ground.
I was going to say,
They can hear you.
you can hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
you're
can
good.
hear
Continue.
you.
Sorry. So when y'all get to camp, you're actually going to see Gil sitting on the ground next to the fire, and he's going to have his arms around his legs, and he's going to be rocking back and forth, and he's going to be saying, "Bad robot, bad robot, bad robot."
Ooh.
You okay there, Gil?
No,
Caleb is like, well, this is certainly
Okay.
a new side.
You got. I think I will take first watch. Caleb, I want you to sleep. And
But
then
I don't
in
want
the
to wake
couple.
up.
No. Do not argue with
I'm
me.
going to take the first watch and then I will sleep for the
But
rest
the
of the night when
thing
that's
is
done.
I only need 4 hours, and Gil only needs 4 hours. So like, let Gil sleep for a little bit. I take first watch. You guys get full hours of sleep.
I mean,
Like,
technically, you don't
I
have
don't
to
think
sleep.
well, I mean, I just think that it would be better if we continue to do
I
the
will
things that we've
take
been doing.
watch.
You can still
I'd
watch.
rather you have your full sleep though.
You can still watch, or you can still take partial watch. You know, for like the 2 hours
No,
that.
this is like varying. This is in character for him.
Yeah, he's a child.
I
Like
don't
doesn't.
know.
I want to take first watch. I want to help.
Okay. Would you feel better if you took just a little bit of a first watch?
Okay.
I want you to try to sleep as much as possible. We've been through a lot today.
I mean, couldn't y'all just both take first watches?
Yeah, I can take watch with
Yeah.
you, Caleb. 4 eyes are better than 2.
Okay.
So.
You okay with that?
Okay.
Okay. And then Gil, you will take the next watch. And don't you dare do something stupid again.
I won't.
I'll believe it when I see it.
All right. You all settle down. Caro grasping your healed and thankfully alive Garrow closely. As Caleb and Lucian, you settle in for your first few hours of watch. Both of you, please make me perception checks, or one of you can make it with advantage.
Okay, let's see.
I'll just let them take it with advantage.
All right, Lucian, roll
Great.
perception with advantage.
Great.
And I guess like if the second ball was the one that was good, then
Yeah.
looks like Caleb spotted something.
Yeah, well, yeah. I always try to get both results so I can flavor it accordingly.
The first roll was a 23, and
Okay.
the second one was a natural 1.
Damn, Caleb.
As the
Caleb is honestly, Matthew. You should just say Caleb fell asleep in the middle of the watch.
Well, if you let me flavor it, I was going to say exactly that. As the two of you sit side by side, Lucian keeping careful eyes and ears out, you eventually feel a small of weight on your arm, and see that Caleb, after the first hour goes by, simply falls asleep, leaning against you.
I move a little bit so his head can go into my lap, and I'll rub his back a little bit.
Oh,
And Lucian, you occasionally kind of twitch a little bit as in the distance. You can't see anything, but you still very occasionally hear just sporadic little bursts of gunfire. But you hear no other sounds beyond that, so it's hard to make out exactly what's happening.
Okay. I'll just keep rubbing Caleb's back as soothing as possible, and look to the night sky and Celestial say to Shiva, "Thank you for watching out for us today."
There's a pause, and as the campfire flickers, you feel that familiar warmth run from your scalp and almost traveling down your hair, where you have, uh, despite still having the focuses, if I recall correctly, is your hair still done up in an improvised one?
No, it's back to a regular braid, but instead of Marzana around my neck like I did before, I have Giovanna around my neck.
But this warmth travels from your scalp down your hair, and you can almost see your hair billow slightly as if a wind has passed through them. Your watch passes without incident. And if I recall,
Yeah, I'll reach back without waking up Caleb. I'll reach back and kind of pat Gil on the cheek. Shh, shh, shh. It's your turn.
Okay, got it.
I'm gonna sit here with Caleb. I'm just gonna meditate for a little bit. Okay?
Okay,
If you need me, just say something, okay?
got it.
Okay. Without
right.
moving, so I don't wake up Caleb,
Mhm.
I'll continue to soothingly rub his back a little bit and meditate.
He'll become a kid.
Yes, he did.
So Gil, make me a perception check.
This has become Lucy and her children.
Well, I mean, Gil, like he'll just like he's like he has like this child like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, he was startled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 21.
Okay. Gil, as Lucian meditates with Caleb sleeping soundly in their lap, you sit and, similar to Lucian, kind of involuntarily glancing and twitching as you hear those sporadic, distant bursts of gunfire, but it doesn't appear to be getting any closer to you. It appears to just be whatever the machine is doing in its own time. And you sit and you wait. Your watch passes without incident.
Well, there is one thing I'd like to do.
Okay.
I'm going to take that longsword, and
And you're gonna
I want to try to attune to it.
Okay. So you attune to an object over the course of a long rest. So that'll be the end of your watch, but you can spend some time attuning to it. Okay. And if I recall correctly, Caro has the final watch. So
Well, I mean,
Wow.
just need to
Yeah,
with the two
they want me
elves,
to. Yeah,
unless you
Okay.
want to.
because I took 4 hours and he took 4 hours, so.
Yeah.
All right. So the night passes. Gradually, the sun begins to rise, and the party begins to stir. Caro, you kind of awake with that kind of you're waking up and it's just like waking to my own circadian rhythm, but then there's that kind of brief jolt of, oh, there was something I was supposed to do. But looking around, the party seems fine and unhurt, and you see Gil simply looking over the blade of the longsword he took from the wood elf, and Lucian gradually waking up from their meditation, and Caleb, you begin to gradually come to and find yourself looking at the world in a strange tilt, and turning around, see that your head is nested in Lucian's lap as they meditate.
I guess. So is it like getting morning and that's why Caleb woke
Yeah,
up?
yeah, the sun's coming up.
Just double checking. Just double checking.
Yeah, understandable.
So I guess Caleb will just sit up and say, "Damn it, I fell asleep."
You did good. You did really well, Caleb. I'm very proud of you.
I don't need to be patronized.
I'm not patronizing you. Trust me. If I thought you were doing a terrible job, do you not think I would not tell you?
No.
Shut up, Zephyr.
Caleb's just gonna get up and
With the two of you
get
laughing
ready.
out. Yeah. By the way, with the two of you laughing out of character, I like to imagine you two took those shots at each other, but then your characters just both do that like sarcastic grin.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's gonna be
I'm
in the
gonna go ahead
animated
and prepare
version.
my spells real quick
Mhm.
because I didn't have a chance.
Are you gonna what? Sorry.
Prepare
I'm gonna
spells.
prepare my spells.
Yeah,
quick.
by all means.
Okay.
Again, it's a long rest. You guys can do whatever you need. And Gil, as you attune to the sword, you, with some practice and study, are able to figure out exactly what it is and how to control it. You may add one flame tongue sword to your inventory.
Yeah, it's gonna be devastating.
Go ahead.
Hit
Go ahead,
that
Johnny.
long rest button real quick to see if it does anything. I don't think it does,
He
but just to
says,
make sure.
"Yay!" Okay.
Like,
let's
unless you
see
took
here.
damage, no.
No.
But still,
Well, I was healed.
yeah, still good to check.
Yeah.
All right, so you all begin to wake up, gather your equipment, prepare your spells, and
Oh, preparing. Just 1 second.
Gil, you learn that the command word to activate this flame tongue is you hold the blade close to your mouth and say in Elvish, "Inflame."
Nice.
Although you do know as you attune to it that with some practice and effort, you can set a more customized command, but that is what it sort of comes prepackaged with. So if you took some effort, you could change it over time, but at the moment, that's how it's activated. So with that, you all begin to wake up, prepare your spells, fawn over your new magic items, and you hear a stirring in the camp. And you see movement from the bundle of rope that is your tied up elvish archer prisoner.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about you.
Hello, cutie.
She
Lucian narrows her eyes.
I
she
don't think that's a good idea for someone we captured.
she doesn't even appear to hear what you said as she takes a moment to pull herself up and looks around, seeming to kind of like have to register what's happening. But as she looks down, sees the condition she's in, and looks around at all of you, you see almost this like visible of the rush of memories coming back, and her face very briefly sharpens into this murderous glare before mellowing out into a simple, plain, neutral expression as she simply, you all stare at her and she stares back at you.
Well, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, internet was being a bitch.
Hey, just, everyone's dealing with that. Totally fine.
Yeah.
For what you missed, everyone took watches, so nothing Raccoon was super privy to. But the archer that you guys took prisoner has just woken up.
Okay, yay.
Okay.
Able to
Okay.
see her a bit closely now. You see that. I'm sorry, were you saying something, Sips?
Nope.
Okay, sorry. I just didn't want to make sure I wasn't interrupting you. You see that she has long silvery hair, and her face is covered by a baklava and a cloak in the Gyogran colors. Uh, and she simply stares at all of you, her face neutral and unspeaking.
Isn't it a baklava?
Yeah, that's what I said.
A Bakugan?
No, you said baklava.
Oh, well, either way, you get what I mean.
However you say it.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was just making sure.
yeah, it's all good.
I'll go up to her and kind of sit crisscross and look at her and tilt my head a little bit. Hello.
She stares at you for a moment before, with a surprisingly quick series of movements from the head, is able to rock her head back to lift the baklava ever so slightly and spit on the ground between the two of you.
Dude,
You
here
can
we
be
are
nicer.
letting you live, and you just like be a bitch to us. It's kind of
Yeah.
really rude.
Let's see, what can I do for you, my little friend?
By all means, kill me. You've all taken everything else from me anyway.
Oh, got an edgelord over here.
Well, not your loot. We can't find it.
I have no attachment to it. If you promise to kill me, I'll tell you where it is.
Agreed.
She,
Yo!
That was so fast.
Yo, that you need to stop doing that.
I didn't say when.
Yeah.
you see her kind of give a very humorless smile. I'm also not stupid. And she glances between all of you. I'm going to need more of a convincing argument than a simple yes.
What, like killing you right now?
She gives a shrug. I'm a tough soldier. A wound that would kill me in time will give me just enough time to tell you what you want to know before it claims me.
All right.
Oh.
So, Caleb's gonna be like, well, then that should be easy. And he gets out he picked up a rapier earlier. He's gonna get that out because it's a bit more precise than a short sword would be.
Okay.
And he's gonna be ready to, but he doesn't seem to do it just immediately. Almost like he does want to confirm that this is where they want to go. The party wants to go with this. I will take a majority vote.
I don't necessarily feel comfortable doing this.
I do have. Well, Gail's gonna have a quick question for her.
It
Oh,
would
man.
just kill all her other party.
So, y'all working for the Scar Concord?
She raises an eyebrow. I have no idea who that is. Although if they were paying well, I certainly wouldn't have said no.
Well, considering y'all work Yogren.
That's valid.
She gives a bit of a snort. So are you. But the fact that you're out here tells me all that I need to know.
Ooh.
Raccoons have
I don't get it.
Raccoon's like bouncing back
Remember what I
and forth
told you,
between
that the
them.
colonels aren't usually on the front lines. The fact that the colonel of Gyogre is all the way out here traveling with a bunch of non-Gyograns, it's pretty obvious he's not in the family's good graces at the moment.
Okay.
Raccoon is just like bouncing back and forth between the sass right now.
Fair enough. But if I might ask, who was the other guy? What was his name?
She kind of scowls at you and pointedly looks away from you back towards Lucian. But you see as her eyes kind of flick over the rest of the party, her gaze falls on Raccoon and seems to settle there as she looks at you, Raccoon, but speaking so that everyone can hear. Lieutenant Orloki.
Does that name ring a bell?
Make a history check with advantage.
Ooh,
Wait, I didn't hear what you said.
Lieutenant Orloki.
Do I know that name?
Make a history check, just flat.
I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get a drink.
Good.
20.
Okay, Gil.
17.
Okay.
Shadow doesn't know these people.
Uh,
For the hell of it.
Raccoon. You've heard the name, although it's mostly through tavern yarns, so you're not exactly sure how much of it is truth. But and this is what both of you know, but I'm speaking from Raccoon's perspective, but I will specify things that you know differently, Gil. You know that Lieutenant Stinge or Loki was obviously a lieutenant working for the Gyogran army. Specifically, he was charged with essentially for lack of a better term, babysitting of the outer territories, specifically the territories that you guys are now traveling in. However, Gil, you don't know this, but Raccoon, you've heard the man being called a different name, typically by elves passing through in the tavern. He's called by elves Nyarmalone, which you eventually worked up the intrigue to ask one of the elves what that meant. And curse alert for the youngins watching at home. The elf told you, Raccoon, that name means rat fucker.
Rat fucker. You little
Uh,
rat.
Warning.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
not the very nice.
Gil, you know that Lieutenant Loki, the general often complained about this at family dinners. Lieutenant Loki was a fantastic commander and would have been a shoo-in for the role of captain, which is one of the highest honors a Gyogran can get without being in the royal family. But the thing that always held him back was his insistence on treating the non-elves in the territories as equals, which is how he earned the nickname as what eventually caused him to be branded a deserter. There was some call it a mutiny, others call it a revolution, and others simply call it a skirmish that's not worth mentioning. But in this town of Sunspot, the lieutenant's, or not the lieutenant, but the baron of the town's mistress revealed that the lieutenant and the baron had been working together to provide much needed food and resources to the local halflings because the Gyograns were working them to the bone and giving them nothing in return. But when this traitorism was revealed, the Gyograns burned the town down to force the halflings out, ensured the supplies were destroyed along with it, and the Baron and his wife and mistress were dragged back to Gyogr by the lieutenant for trial. However, the lieutenant handed himself in for his own role in the job, but the general chose, instead of punishing him, to reward him for at least revealing the other traitor's part in it. But as he was about to be promoted to captain, in front of the entire army, you, your sister, and your father called the royal family out for their mistreatment of the halflings and was branded a deserter and exiled.
And now I wish I hadn't killed him. This guy could have been great.
So as soon as
It's gonna be like, oh, you did try to rob us.
How long has it been since he's been dead?
Gil, you mean?
No, I mean
the lieutenant?
Yeah, Gil's
Loki
been
dude.
dead.
Because everyone keeps saying that he's dead, and that the timeline's been mentioned, so I wasn't sure if that's what you've been referring to. And the lieutenant, it's coming in just shy of a full 24 hours now.
Let's see.
I
look at Gil, and then I look at the other elf. I can bring him back.
So real quick, in response to Gil and Caleb, she looks to you, Gil, and simply gives a shrug, turns to you, Caleb, and gives another shrug, but this time actually speaks up. We all have our ways of making a living. And finally turning to you, Lucian, she's glaring at you suspiciously, but you see her kind of glance over you Her eyes narrowed. And what exactly would you be wanting from me in return?
Sorry if y'all hear any sounds of water. I gotta do the dishwasher.
It's all good.
Okay, I was wondering what that noise was.
I'm sorry.
She kind of, I kind of give her it's okay. I kind of give a shrug and, well, I know what it's like to lose somebody that you love dearly. And I can see it in your eyes.
She kind of narrows her eyes further at you and seems to almost instinctually like flick her head so that her hair and cloak hide her face from looking directly at you. But eventually she speaks up. If this is your attempt at psychological torture, you'll have to do better than that.
No, I'm serious. I can bring him back.
How would you do that?
Let's see. I have a spell. I have several spells. My father was very apt in bringing people back. It's not something that I like to do or want to do, but I can do it. Hmm. I look at the at the she's a wood elf, right?
No, she is a light elf like you and Gil.
Okay.
The only wood elf present among the deserters was. But at the very least, the elf doesn't respond.
Well,
I was gonna
that's
say-
what she was gonna actually say is, Lucian. I will look at the female and kind of tilt my head a little bit. Would you tell him not to attack us? Would you tell him that we're good if we bring him back?
Just like wondering how
I don't have to bring him back, Caleb.
Caleb, what
Because Caleb was speaking up.
was he?
Um,
me.
He was saying like, "Oh, it's a lot to ask of someone," and she
They
stays,
should have known the risk of doing something like this.
"We gave you the chance to walk away, and you didn't take it."
Well, why are you shocked that people decided, no, I'm not going to let these robbers take my stuff?
That's a good point.
Look, I am from a kingdom that is entirely bandits, and we understand this. Even if you're asking for the smallest piece, some people don't want to give it up, and you have to fight. And you know what? Sometimes you die. That's how it goes when you play this kind of game.
She tilts her head back to look at you and gives a smile. Then, if that's how it goes, then you get nothing further from me.
The only thing that we have come here for is two things. We want to know what happened to the people who came to this town. We were sent here to find some missing artifact. That's the only things that we have come here for. We did not expect to see you or even fight you, or let alone kill you and your friends.
She's quiet and contemplative before saying, "Untie me and bring back the lieutenant, and I'll tell you whatever you want to know."
Here's how she's gonna actually do this.
Let's find out.
Gil will untie her.
Okay.
She dusts off her wrists and rubs them and skirts away from you, more out of irritation than fear, Gil, and glares at you, Lucian.
Okay. I don't know if this is gonna actually work.
Probably not.
So there is a spell called Life Transfer. It
Transfer.
says I prepared this. It says you sacrifice some of your health to mend another creature's injuries. So with
Oh, no.
how I saw how my family how they do things and operate, would I be able to bring him back with that particular
If the
spell?
spell doesn't specify
Yeah,
that you can use
life.
it to revive the dead, it just
It
heals
doesn't
injuries.
specify.
Yeah, no, like
I also have.
I would have allowed it if he had like just gone down, but he's died and has been dead for a while. So
Let's see, what else do I have?
The best you could
All right, the
do
water's done running. So
nice.
would be to trick her.
yeah, you kind of made a promise without actually knowing if you can actually
And,
deliver.
yeah, you only mend a creature's injuries.
Well, I could also do animate dead, but that's a little.
Yeah,
Let me read
he's
it.
back, you know. And
The creature is under my control for 24 hours.
they go away.
I mean, it's not like.
I mean, that's it.
It would work.
Yeah.
You'd have to. Essentially, you'd have
Oh
to
my
kind of
God.
trick her. But yeah, you could definitely do it.
This
You
is
know, go
why
ahead.
this is why you probably should have asked if you could have done this before you tried to
Yeah, no.
negotiate.
Lucian, I kind of go over to the dead body and I pull out my Marzana symbol and kind of look at it and stare at it for a full minute. Sigh. Close my eyes. And I'm going to start casting Animate Dead.
Okay. You all watch as Lucien steadies himself before praying with more unfamiliar motions now. And you watch as this almost shadowy darkness begins to emerge from their fingers and enter into the veins of the body. And as Lucien continues to recite their prayer, you see the body jerk the other way and begin to gradually twitch and shake.
Taking my headphones off of this. I can't hear this train wreck that's about to happen.
And the eyes open, but are milky and soulless as the body hoists itself slowly up and sits in place and gradually stands up as you complete your prayer, Lucien, and you all see effectively a zombified Lieutenant Urloki.
Wow, it worked.
Hmm.
Hate it.
Ooh.
Lucian, I am Lucian. You can see Lucian, and she's just sitting there, and she's visibly shaking. And as she turns to you, there are tears streaking down her cheeks. I didn't say that it would be perfect, but it's the best I can do.
The elvish woman simply stares and gives a shrug. That's okay. I didn't promise you I would tell you anything anyway. And begins to walk down the street away from all of you.
Gil's going to tackle her.
What happened?
She didn't like it.
I mean, I knew that.
Gil's
I knew
tackling
that,
her.
but
I will tell the zombie to attack.
I mean,
Wow.
that's just cruel right there.
Lucian, why?
Fucking cruel. Like, you are
Yes.
basically using this guy that she liked as a fucking meat puppet.
Well, something
And
She's
first,
crying. Like Lucian is
Gil,
like
make,
visibly big fat.
Gil, make me a grapple check.
Like there are fat tears going down her face as she just goes.
Caleb is just like, this
Attack.
all would have been so much easier if you just let me kill her.
Dirty 20.
Gil,
you hear what
you
Caleb said?
Yes.
yeah. And Gil, you run to tackle her, but as you reach your hand out with this insanely rapid movement, she turns and her stride doesn't even break as she almost goes in to do a roll, landing on one of her hands, and you hear a as a dagger is pulled out from her sleeve, and she spins in place, and you almost don't feel anything until your hand goes limp, and you see a massive slice across your palm, and she simply
Has she recovered
rolls.
her health from the last fight?
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
she had a long rest.
Yeah, a long rest, so she's all healed up.
How much of a beating did it take to beat her?
A tiger, a few shots from Caro, and I think Lucian's spell. And as she rolls, she stands up and looks at all of you and gives a huff. And she casts Misty Step and vanishes.
Where was she looking at?
Is there a roll to challenge that?
Well, I mean,
No.
it'd be
She just teleported to an unoccupied space within 30 feet of her.
that I believe it said she could see too. So.
Mhm.
But
I want to do a
Let's
quick
let
look
her
around.
go. She has had a bad day.
Let her go.
Well, the question.
Caleb was just like, you see, this is what we call a loose end. She could be something that comes back later and tries to kill us all.
Now here's my
Well, that would
second
be the first
question.
time.
We have this zombie.
Yes, we have that.
I can make him talk. We can ask him 5 questions.
We have that. So.
Well, I'm still doing a quick look around.
Do you want to do that?
And roll me a
What would we
perception check,
ask
Gil.
him?
30-20.
Okay. Looking around,
Do a
You see
perception
nothing.
just to see.
go for it.
Nope.
Gil and Caleb, the two of you look around and see no sign of her.
See, you think someone good at stealth would be good at finding someone as well.
I mean,
Well, they're not necessarily the exact same skill set.
Yeah.
Do you see anything? Your tracker?
But you know how to sneak, so you know
I
what
get-
someone would do to sneak.
I get what you're saying. It's more or less just like they're two separate skills. In fact, they're two separate, like, one's wisdom, one's dex.
I'm with Carol on this one. I think that we should just let her go, let her mourn.
Well, more or less.
That's going to bite us in the butt someday, but you know. You didn't answer my question. Do you want to talk to this guy or what?
What would we ask him? Seems
Whatever
kind of
you
pointless
want.
to me. He's
Well,
dead.
Sounds like,
Whatever you want.
as you just explained, you only have 5 questions. So,
So we ask about the missing people. So that's one question. We ask about the missing. We talk about the artifacts that we know are around here somewhere. So we ask
well,
about that.
no,
And there's
they're
3 other
artifacts.
questions that we still have.
The loot.
The loot.
Well, I mean,
The,
that's probably
So to me, I think it's worth it. It will put me up for a little bit for like a higher spell. I can't talk to anybody until for a little while. Like I can't send a message for a little while, but that's okay. I can always try tomorrow. So that's up to you guys.
I think we should.
got you.
You guys too.
How did you what, Austin?
Nothing. I was confused about something. Anyway, well, I mean, I have no. He has no question.
Caleb, do you have any
I
questions?
guess if
for
you
me?
want to ask him questions, ask him questions.
Well, do you have any questions that you want me to
No,
ask?
I don't have any questions. There's not really anything pertinent I need to know from a dead man.
I kind of shrug and
Ooh, Gil's
Um,
got one.
Okay, I've got 2 questions. So what's your question?
Does he know how I died? Or if I died? He obviously knows me.
Well, I mean,
So,
you're otherwise.
So you want me to waste a question on
Well,
something like that?
It's either
You have
waste it or
3
not use it.
questions.
I was like, it's either waste it or not use it.
Okay. So
You
that's
were-
3 questions.
You were
So
saying
2 more.
Caro?
Carol?
While you are asking him questions, I will start gathering up the bodies to bury.
Yes, I think that is a good thing to do. Yes. So that's 3 questions. I have 2. I have 2 more. If anybody has anything that they want to ask.
You're the
I have-
one.
I got another one. This is a good one.
I'm listening.
Are the halflings he was taking care of okay?
Okay, I
Yes.
guess that's okay. Caleb, are you sure? Because you looked a little spooked when you saw him. Did I
What?
hear the guy say Caleb's name?
Not
Because I
this
was pretty
guy.
close.
Yeah, it wasn't this guy, but the other, the human man. Yes, he was. Yeah, he was next to you whenever he said that. So
Or, if you guys like, we can do that human. You might know just as much. And we could, satisfy some other things too. For all we know, these are all deserters. It's up to you.
I have questions again. I have no questions, need answers, so you guys can have fun with your playing of the dead bodies.
Zephyr, you should know that I do not want to do this. But sometimes there's, no way around it.
I mean, debatable.
That woman is not going to give us anything. She's long gone. Probably, who knows where she's gone. But we need to find out
Probably
where all these
sharpening a
things
knife to kill us with.
that's a possibility, but we need to get a move on finding these people and finding these artifacts, and we might as well get some questions out of the way.
These artifacts that you talk about.
The magic stuff that the lieutenant back in the what was the city's name?
Ogden.
I'm sorry, Ogmen. Thank you. Back in Ogmen had told us about. That's why we even came here. Do you not remember that, Zephyr?
I remember why we came.
That's what I'm talking about. Those are the artifacts, the magic items.
If your so-called, dead body or whatever you choose to, but doesn't pose any, there's questionable. There is always the house that the construct was bending. While it might be in ruins, who knows what was inside?
We do know what is inside right now. A giant machine that wants to blow us all to bits.
That's a
Well,
good point. But Zephyr, you actually have a really good point there. We could ask what happened to the city.
Well, we know.
Do we?
Yeah.
It got burned, but
Oh,
we don't
sorry.
know.
I forgot to tell you. The Gyogrins burned it.
It was the Geogrants. Are you sure?
Positive. When
Possibly.
that guy here
You just
was
kind
was helping the halflings, the Gyogrins burned it out of spite.
Oh, okay.
That
That's
sounds like
them.
them.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like them. Okay, so I'm gonna take out my journal and I'm gonna start writing things down. So I'm gonna just like write down the questions. So question number 1: Where is what happened?
This feels like the most RP we've had in a session with the least amount of progress ever made.
Okay, what happened to the people
Not
that
true.
came through? Okay, what else? Number 2:
Where's the loot?
Where is the loot?
That'd be the
Okay.
only thing I would want to know.
Okay, what else? Do you know Gil? What is your full name? Gil-galad Viri?
Yes. Well, he knows who I am, but does he know how I died? Or
Do
if
you know what happened to Gil-galad Viri? I think is a good question.
Yes.
Anything else? I've got 2 more questions.
What happened to the halflings?
Okay. 1 more question.
I will say, if nobody else posits one, that you could to avoid having to cast the same spell twice, just for one additional question. Basically, you could ask for more details on the human man that seemed to know Caleb.
Okay. How did the human know Caleb to
And
bury them?
while you're writing, Caro, I know you said you're gathering the bodies to bury them. Do you want to, for just future reference, say that you're present here, or?
Like I feel like I already walked off at this point, and having Garo help me.
Okay. And until they get back, I will say that Raccoon is going to assist you with that as well.
I didn't even.
Is
Raccoon
the
was
internet fucked again?
Yeah, and I was keeping track of it, just not really anything to do about it. So.
Well, yeah, just Discord's muted, so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so if you're content, for my reference on my side of it, is there any is there any limitations of the spell you're about to use that I should know about?
Let me see. It says you grant the semblance of life and intelligence to a corpse of your choice within a range, allowing it to answer your questions you pose. The corpse must still have a mouth.
Dead.
So it can't be undead. So I'm gonna have to cancel the zombie curse before I do this, which I can do. No problem.
Mm-hmm.
No,
The spell,
no problem.
no problem. The spell fails if the corpse was a target of the spell in the last 10 days.
Can't do
Okay,
it.
so you can't do it more than once.
Can't do it more than once, right
yeah,
away.
to the same one at least.
Yeah.
Until the spell ends, you can ask the corpse up to 5 questions. The corpse only knows what it knows in life, including languages that it knew. Answers are usually brief, cryptic, or repetitive, and the corpse is under no compulsion to offer up truthful answers. If you are hostile or if it recognizes you as an enemy, which is I am
Yes.
wondering if this is gonna actually work. The spell doesn't return the creature's soul to its body. It's only an animation spirit.
Okay.
That's the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my backpack and take out some incense, and because it says it uses this up, so I need to use it as a component. So I just I burn some incense and start casting Speak with the Dead.
Okay.
After de-animating the
Of
corpse.
course, after he is
Yeah. So, Caleb, Gil, and Zephyr, you watch as Lucian drops their concentration and the body simply falls back over, almost landing pretty much where it had been laying prior, since it hadn't really moved at all beyond standing up. And Lucian begins to burn incense, pray, and cast a spell that, Lucian, you never thought you'd find being cast by your own hands. And you all watch as, once again, the body does not move this time, but its eyes open, and still have that soulless, lifeless look to them, as insects buzz around the body. And the head slowly, less turns and more rolls to look at you, Lucian.
What happened to the people that came through here?
All were robbed, but all was spared.
Where is your loot?
In the town.
The manor, the attic.
Oh,
Write that down.
was this being truthful to us,
Okay.
or at least
Do
possibly.
you know? Do you know what happened to Gilgaladveri?
You see the eyes tilt slightly, creating this very unsettling visage as some of the blood and rot in the eyes becomes visible as the head tilts to look towards Gil and look back towards you. No.
What happened to the halflings that you were aiding?
Slaughtered. I only pray every night that some escaped.
Last question. How did the human in your party know Caleb the Badgeran?
General Roman Wicker.
I've already done history on that, right?
Yes, and a Tebadran general would, of course, have known the prince. Left the army to join us when the king refused to grant him leave, but a cut of the spoils was always the king's to share.
Wait, what did he say?
Because the king refused to grant General Wicker leave, he joined the deserters, but was always sending a cut of their profits back to King Tebadra.
Maybe that's why he. You think maybe that plays a part of why he told us where the stuff was?
It's quite possible.
Or he may be lying.
Yeah, the spell says, he's under
He
no
could be
compulsion to
lying
give you an honest
too.
answer. And speaking of which, as I believe that is your last question, life, or what's left of it, fades from the eyes of Lieutenant Urloki's body, and the head comes to a rest, and you hear one last escape the mouth.
I start crying again.
So it looks like we'll have to deal with the manor anyway.
As the Lucian's crying, Gil would put a hand on her shoulder and say, "Thank you."
Don't ever ask me to do that again.
I cannot make that promise.
Damn, son.
I'm not gonna lie.
I put my head into my hands and just cry.
Okay. Caro, it takes the better part of the morning, as there are quite a few bodies, but assuming you're not going to do the full 6 feet down or anything, just at least give them burials and proper funerary rites. It'll take the better part of the morning, but you will be able to do this with Raccoon's and Garrow's help.
Mhm.
So while Caro and Raccoon are off doing that, what are the rest of you going to do?
So
I don't know.
So Gil's going to look at Caleb and Zephyr. Well, if the loot is where they said, we have to figure out what to do about the constructs.
Caleb's just like, the construct can keep it for all I care.
I mean, who knows what the loot is? So I'm intrigued enough to. Shouldn't be too hard to deal with something like that.
Yeah, with all of us, we should be able to take it, right? I mean, we took all of those bandits, right?
It's a
Well,
bit tough,
it's
but
even then
I know what to expect.
you know. Well, even then, you don't theoretically have to fight the thing, more or less. Keep it
And I
away.
can always lead it away.
Well, possible.
And so if I lead it away, y'all search the area.
I have another idea.
I'm listening.
I don't know if it is going to work, but I can try. I can try to command it to go away.
That.
I look at Zephyr, and you can just see like her face is just tear stained, and just she gives you like this very, very blank stare. Trying is the best thing that we can do.
But I mean, you can try. I'll probably put a backup plan.
That's
Lucy,
yes.
does it have to see you for you to make a spell?
That's a good question. Does it have to see me? It doesn't say it has to see me, but I have to see it. It doesn't specify.
So if it works, we can be hidden. It leaves. If it doesn't work, I lead it away. While y'all do a quick look.
I don't know.
Is that or we attack?
Does it speak? Is it intelligent?
It's
Intelligent
repetitive.
is question, but
It speaks
does have
robotic, and it also speaks Elvish
Oh, it
and
speaks
common.
Elvish. But in
Also,
Elvish.
Hunter Bud, you're breathing into the mic.
What?
You're breathing into the mic.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good.
We can speak to it in Elvish.
It doesn't respond.
well, it responds. Seems to.
Is there anything that we can do to make it respond? Do you know anything?
I mean, what kind of
So I
response
know
are you
if
looking
it
for?
says that is a restricted area, please leave.
Hmm.
Last warning.
Last one. You.
Okay. So here's my idea. We go up to deconstruct, and it says it's little things. And then once I hear it speak, I will say to it in Elvish, flee, and I will cast my command, and let's see if that works.
If not,
If not, I guess we have to fight it. Can we fight it? Are we strong enough?
I mean,
I think if we're all together,
so you're just gonna
maybe.
tell it to flee, and you're expecting it to just walk away.
Yes.
Yes.
See this? I don't see this going well, but I'm not the one to.
I mean, like I said before, the best thing we can do is try, right?
Quick question to the DM.
What's up?
With the Star Blast,
Mm-hmm.
what exactly were the benefits of it again in combat?
Let me pull it up and check for you.
Gonna drink some. We're gonna have a upset Gil now.
Give me just a second to. I have it on hand. I just need to pull it up because don't want
No
to.
problem.
Star Blast. Um, um, uh, you act confused. The DM is allowed to say how you're acting and what you're doing. Um, I know it has a good effect. I just need to double check. You have resistance to all damage because you're basically so drunk that you're not feeling any pain.
So basically, right.
Yeah, but it's all damages,
I
so it
know.
includes things like psychic damage.
I know, but we're fighting like a construct, so as a flamethrower, it's not gonna.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gil is going to grab his pouch. He's going to look at Lucian. You will probably be on the front line with me. There's enough Star Blast in here for one try.
Question: when he brings it up, do I start craving it?
Make a Constitution save.
Fuck! I knew you were gonna say
Fuck.
that. Constitution saving throw. That's not
You
bad.
gotta
18.
crave on.
I thought it was gonna
Okay.
be a natural one.
And you look at it, and no, and you didn't realize it until like seeing more of it in front of you. Your headache appears to be gone as well.
Interesting. I'll drink it, but here's the thing. You will have to put up with more times of me being a bitch.
Careful
Be
with your next
careful where
words,
you
Gil.
tread.
Look,
Gil.
Oh, is you next?
That's
I
all
mean,
he's
I could
saying.
think of see some. I'm already thinking it was like insults there.
Like, that's all he's saying. He's just going to say,
I take it. I take it, and I just kind of glare at them. Be careful where you tread, and I drink it.
I will remind you guys that the state of being drunk from it, at least the benefits, aren't going to last forever, and Caro is going to take pretty much until at least a little afternoon to finish their
Okay, so
burials.
I'll wait. I'll wait.
No, yeah, I didn't want you to waste it here and only
Yeah.
have the shitty effects afterwards.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll take it, and I'll be like, okay, well, when we get closer, I will take the drink. Do you think I should take the drink after I do the command? What are you thinking here?
well, I also had a quick question. How long exactly until they're done burying people?
I'd say it'll roughly be in the ballpark of about 3 in the afternoon with Raccoon's help.
So 4 hours?
No, from here, that's closer to. Do you need something that's at least 4 hours, or do you just want to know the time?
Well, I was going to see if Lucian could rest to re-get her spells.
Shit, yeah, I didn't think of that.
Basically 4 hours yet.
Then yeah, you could. Although like you're gonna realistically like be a little like alert tonight, considering that you're getting essentially
First watch.
yeah. So just bear that in mind. But yes, you can settle down for another rest.
That way I can also fiddle with my spells.
Okay. Caro, you still with us?
Yes.
Okay. It takes some time,
Good ideas.
but you and Raccoon, with Garrow's assistance with the digging and legwork, are able to give the bodies, including the unzombified lieutenant, a relatively, it's not fashionable. Digging the full 6-foot holes would have taken much longer, but you are able to at least get them under some dirt and pay some degree of respect to them. It's Lucian, you go down for essentially a nap, and you're pretty much just getting back up when Caro, Garrow, and Raccoon return.
And during this, I'm also working with my longsword some more.
Okay. So Caro with Raccoon
Question:
and Garrow in tow.
Are you making it inflamed?
No.
Okay.
Caro with Garrow and Raccoon in tow, you return to see Caleb and Zephyr simply waiting, Gil practicing his swings with his blade, and Lucian meditating, but slowly waking up and coming out of it by the time you approach the camp.
Let me see something here. How long? Because I would remember. How long would it take to get from the camp to where the house is?
Well, you actually never got to the house, I don't think.
Yeah, you never approached it.
How
Although
long did I guesstimate?
yeah, like, so bear in mind you could be wrong about this, but you could guesstimate that if you're just walking, so you're not like sprinting or anything like that. If you're just walking, it would probably take you somewhere in the ballpark of about an hour and a half.
Okay. Okay. I have an idea. Um, everybody, I want everybody's intake on an idea that I just had. You know, I was thinking when I was asleep. I have this
Thinking when you
spell
were
that I can
asleep.
do. You said this machine it speaks a language.
3 languages.
3 languages.
Does it originally speak in its native tongue?
Yes,
I can speak its language.
I mean,
but it's just saying the same thing.
I don't think.
But what if I can respond to it in its own language? Do you think that would, like, if I say who are you commanded by?
I doubt it.
Second that, I don't think.
I mean, I wouldn't know. You guys are the only ones that have any communication with this thing, so I'm just wondering if that would work.
Well, as you mentioned, you can always try. Though I don't think, again, I think it will work. Since I don't think it really has a motive of what language.
Yeah, it doesn't communicate. It gives you a message. If you don't respond, it kills you.
Well, I don't think it's that if you don't respond. I think if you just don't comply.
Well, yeah. True.
So you don't think that it would be worth doing a large spell for this?
No.
Not that I think it just won't have any.
Okay. I mean, that's why I wanted your input is, because we're supposed to be acting like a team, so may as well try to make a decision like a team, right?
Good point.
Okay.
All right, Caleb and Caro, anything from you before you guys presumably start heading towards the manor, or what's left of it?
I'm sorry. What was she saying? Like,
Basically,
He just starts like blogging me out.
I like to imagine that Caleb is just constantly nodding off. Uh,
yeah, I'm sorry. Just sometimes I see something and I go look at it for a bit online, then I'm like, oh shit, hold up, I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, this is why DMs don't allow phones at the table. And Lucian is suggesting that she could try using a spell to understand what the machine is saying.
That's
It's
what I
native.
thought she was saying.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
And
So I
Zephyr
did
and
actually
Gil.
pick it up, but I just wasn't sure if I picked it up.
Did
Yeah,
you have
but-
an opinion about it?
Caleb's like, my opinion's already been stated that we shouldn't even bother with this thing, but if you want to risk yourself for it, I'm more than welcome to.
More or less,
I mean,
we just want
granted,
some.
we have all of these things from the bandits already. I mean, the corpse had said that everybody had been taken care of and let go. So whoever had been passing by here was not attacked by these guys.
Could have been attacked by the car.
Yes, I did not ask about that. That's why I could, I don't know if it would I don't know how intelligent this thing is, but even if I could talk to it, I don't know if it would actually, have a conversation with me.
It's not very intelligent.
You
I-
do whatever you think is best, and
Don't-
I will sit back and be ready in case something goes wrong.
I don't assume it will have
Lucian,
a nice conversation, but I'm definitely fine with you trying.
let me put it this way. It's stupider than I am.
Is that possible?
Yes.
I narrow my eyes, but is it though?
Barely, it's a close tie.
I think I'm going to try. Because at least sometimes you are, can be talked to. It may be intelligent enough. I don't know. Maybe, um, I don't know. Maybe if it thought that we were, like one of him.
One of
Well-
him.
I don't know how these things work with constructs. I don't even know what the fuck it is.
All I know,
Is a
it
big.
does not like Kyogreans.
Well,
Oh,
it's a
so
good thing I'm not
you-
Kyogren, isn't it?
True.
Also, Gil, why would you bring that up to a construct that is in a town full of deserters?
Because I thought it was made by one.
Well, are
You're
we?
just not helping yourself here, Gil.
Are we
People
on?
loves technology.
Hey, Kara, you might want to dig another grave for another one here. He's already dug himself a hole.
Wow.
Then why would Carol need to dig?
She can just dig further, I guess. I don't know. Listen, my brain is just like right now.
It's fine.
Uh,
So, like,
are we on our? Are we gonna be on our way now?
so I think what we're going to do is we're going to walk there. Do you guys want to do like what we did with the bandits? Like, you guys go up in the rafters, and like me and Gil go. Do you want to
Caleb
do
was
that?
like, that is already what I said I would do.
Okay, then let's do that. Zephyr, are you with us?
I will see you on that.
Yay! Road trip.
Caro, are you with us?
Okay. Let me gather my things.
Okay. So, Caro, you gather the last of your belongings. Everyone armors up, gets themselves equipped, and begins making their way, taking the same formation you guys took on your entry into town. Everyone who's sticking to the sides, please make me stealth checks. I've already rolled for Raccoon, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Caro and Caleb,
What?
stealth check.
If you want to
Oh.
go stealthy.
Of course, right. Yeah, sorry. Obviously.
And
I'm pretty good at stealth.
And,
I want to say
That'll be
as
21 in total.
Yeah,
nice.
21 as well.
Nice. All right. And what were you saying, real quick?
As we get closer, I want to cast tongues on myself.
Okay. What does that
Are you
do
gonna
for?
start speaking in tongues now?
Well, yes, actually. But so what?
Actually, yes.
Here,
it says
I'll
that-
pull it up so you don't have to read it out.
Okay. Thank you.
Trying to make the
Basically,
robot
I
better
can
understand you, not
understand-
understand you
is
less.
robot
Yeah.
even a language?
I can understand any spoken language,
Okay.
I just kind of thought this like
and I believe
is
it
robot
can understand me too.
Spell grants the creature you touch the ability to understand any spoken language. When the target speaks, any creature that knows at least one language can hear the target. Okay, so yeah, you can understand it, and it can understand you.
Yeah, basically
Right.
talking its language. I think pretty much. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's like my thought part was like, man, is like robot a language?
Well, you don't know what language it's talking in,
Oh, yeah.
but Lucian may be about to find out.
Yep.
Okay, so Gil and Lucian in the streets, Caleb and Zephyr off to one side, and Caro, Garo, and Raccoon off to the other. You guys begin working your way towards the destroyed manor. But the streets aren't as empty as they had once been. Gil and Lucian, you're the first to notice this, but all of you start to notice it as well. Lucian and Gil, as you're walking in the street, you see what appears to be a dead rat, its body plastered on the pavement. You see a bird that looks like it was shot out of the sky and fall into earth. Caleb, you actually have to stop Zephyr from almost stepping on another rat that is just plastered in one of the buildings. And as you get closer to the manor, you see this more and more just small animals that had presumably been rifling around in the destroyed town, shot wherever they stood.
Seems like the robot's pissed.
All I can say, oops.
Gil, do you think I should take a drink now?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I take a drink.
A drink.
I will warn you that this may hinder your attempts to use tongues and command.
It doesn't require concentration.
Well, it's more or less that he can take control of your character. You're drunk.
Yeah,
You're plastered.
I'm giving you a disclaimer, like a heads up, like, you know, you're about to get drunk before.
Yeah, but then they can blame you for taking control of their character.
Not even that, they're drunk.
No, it's okay. I understand.
And I will also point out, just so you don't have to worry about it, for the record, double checking what I have noted here, so I can see how quickly you can drink it, because most of these don't take very long to kick in.
It was like instant when you drink it.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's just for some of them it can be an action or a bonus action, so I'm double checking real quick.
Oh yeah, the whole potion.
Yeah, it'll just take an action to consume. So, like, you can just do it like pretty much immediately if things go south. It's like basically you don't have to drink it in advance to feel its effects.
Okay, yeah, because that's what I was wondering is if.
Yeah. So yeah, just to clarify, it's an action to drink it, and you'll feel its effects for a little while. What's up?
I want to get the clarification on this range thing.
What's up?
So is 40 the range that the musket can fire without disadvantage,
Yes.
and 120 is the absolute highest?
Yeah, 120 is the highest absolute you can fire, but you'll have disadvantage anywhere over 40 up to 120.
What is 40? Is 40 feet?
Yeah, 40 feet.
Yeah.
I have to feel like you think a musket would be able to hit.
Bear in mind, bear in mind, a lot of people make the argument that especially with like the longer range weapons, like things like longbows and the snipers, like it's already a little unfair. So let's give the enemies a chance. Sure. As you guys get closer and closer to the manor, Lucian, keeping your grip on your dose of Star Blast at the ready.
Dose Tosito.
You begin to approach the manor, and you see just there's enough room for you to walk, but just like this field of dead animals, and illuminating the entire street is red glow. And sitting among the wreckage of the manor where the central area had once stood, you see the machine. Gil, you recognize the stance it's in, but the rest of you don't. You see that it is basically leaned back on one of its arms to almost form a tripod, and that you see what you in real life would recognize as something akin to a Gatling gun, but the rest of you have never seen something like this, as if several weapons have been just taped to each other and they rotate constantly.
Want me to go get a sound from YouTube, Matthew?
No. And the machine just simply turns constantly in place, this cold, emotionless watch as the street is bathed in red. And Gil, this catches the rest of you can see this, but this catches your attention most immediately. When you first encountered the machine, it was very dusty and covered in dirt, so you were not able to make out what the actual colors it was painted in looked like. But the action it's been seeing in the last few hours has shaken a lot of the dust and dirt, even that from the house, off. And you see that it has been painted and emblazoned on the sort of back end of that rotating cannon. You see the colors and emblem of Geogrin deserters.
Well, that figures.
Matthew, did you hear what I said, though?
Yeah.
Nerf bastion.
So you see the street bathed in red, the machine with its rotating cannon at the ready, simply rotating, keeping a watch in all directions, ready to fire if it sees anything move.
So when I notice that, I'm gonna grab Lucy and say, "Don't go out there. Not yet."
Okay.
Wow, she actually listened.
Surprise, right?
Yeah.
The rest of you on the side see Lucian and Gil come to a sudden stop, and you all can see the machine up ahead among the rubble. And this close, something else also catches your eye. Gil, you hadn't noticed this when you first entered, as you had been very much in a hurry and focusing on other things. But you see that bits and pieces of that central lobby have actually survived the devastation. And you see some remains of the staircase. You see some crumpled bits of wood from the flooring and stairs, and like the porch area. But what most catches your eye is you had initially just dismissed them as simple decoration, but the fact that they withstood the damage and are seemingly completely untouched catches your eye. You can't see the details of them from this far away, but you see 5 stone pillars, sort of triangular, sort of forming an almost Stonehenge-like semicircle around this construct.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Very interesting.
I say to Gil, this spell that I have only lasts for just a little while. I need to make my move.
It's not going to talk. It's in combat mode.
For
Okay.
what? Because of you?
Look around. Anything that comes into this area, it immediately attacks.
How far away am I from it?
At this distance, doing some quick mental math, you're about 100 feet from it.
I just need to get a little bit closer, and then I could try to make it go away.
Try to make it go.
40 feet, Gil. That's all I need.
How big is the circle around? Oh, like the dead body circle, more or less.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
the dead bodies you've been seeing like for a pretty good distance away. It appears that it has clearly been moving from this spot, just not right now.
Is there any cover?
There's the fence to a certain degree, but other than that, there's not much except for the wreckage of the houses across the street. Lucian, what are you gonna do? The rest of you are free to do stuff as well. Just
Okay, they're just gonna keep trying to get into a position to just attack from range.
okay.
Okay. I am going to try to. Is there like a house that's nearby?
Define nearby. Basically, what range are you
I
trying to
need
get to?
60 feet. I need 60
Yeah.
feet. Okay.
Give me just a second,
Yeah.
because I actually have a map for this.
I'm
Sounds
gonna
like-
go right onto. I'm going.
Well, I'm saving pulling it up for when you for if you end up getting into a combat encounter with this thing.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up.
I
so.
have a map.
Give me just a second.
Yeah, most likely gonna. It sounds like we're gonna get into combat with this thing if we're really trying to get in that building.
If you want to get within 60 feet of it, you're actually going to have to go past the fences and into the garden of the manor.
Mhm.
That seems like a really bad idea.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Yeah, fence
mean,
yourself off.
Do you just want to let it go then? I have questions for this construct.
It's not going to talk.
Caro, next to you, you see digging around in the discarded flesh of one of the unfortunate rodents, you see a carrion bird just simply eating a bit, seeming completely indifferent to your presence. It's likely that it's been living in this town for some time and is used to groups of people.
Hmm.
Wait, why are we describing this?
Well, Caro sees it, so I'm seeing if Caro wants to do anything with it.
I will cast Speak with Animals.
All right. You
Come on.
quietly cast your spell to yourself, Raccoon and Garrow watching, and you look down and as you kind of mumble to yourself, the bird kind of gives a slight jump and moves to the other side of the rat and kind of looks you up and down. That sort of animal behavior of like it knows you're there and is just kind of seeing what you do next.
Hello, little bird.
There's a brief pause as the bird's head tilts one side, the other. Hello.
I like your bird
I love
voice,
him.
Matthew.
I love him.
So what happened here?
I don't know. A lot of loud noises, a lot of food. And he kind of digs around in the rat's body and strips off some of the meat.
That's fair. Do you see anything suspicious?
The bird kind of looks around and takes a very slow, careful hop and peers beneath some of the broken wall of the house you and Caro and Raccoon are covering in, and you see his gaze directed towards the machine. Gotta be careful. Make sure it doesn't see you.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bird.
And it kind of looks up at you and kind of does that little bird, like little dancey step to the side, dancey step to the other side, and says, "Do you know why it talks?"
No, I'm not sure.
The bird kind of digs around in the meat of the rat and eats a bit more. I suppose that's fair. I was just wondering. We can't understand what it says.
I haven't seen it, but yes, the others said it did talk, but it changed languages.
The bird kind of tilts his head to the side. What's a language?
It's how people talk. It's different for animals.
The bird kind of gives almost a motion that you could attribute to a shrug and digs around a bit more in the rat meat. Oh, well, suppose more people like you should learn animal language, huh?
True.
And the bird eats a bit more, seeming to have its fill, and gives you a nod. And rather than flying away, it carefully hops in the opposite direction that you and your party
Very
came.
intelligent bird.
Crows are very smart.
Okay.
Well,
See here.
the bird said we can't be seen.
Wait, what?
How are you gonna call Lucia?
Oh, is it
Yeah, so
glitching?
y'all are.
What? Yeah.
Y'all too.
Okay.
Can't be seen, but we can be heard, right? Yeah.
That's what I'm going off of.
Oh, really?
Could I
There.
get into a house that's like you said I had to be in the garden for like where is this thing?
So it is in the center of where the mansion had once stood, between all of these stone pillars. So to get within 60 feet of it, you would have to cross the fence, but there is a gate near the front, and get about midway through the garden to be within 60 feet of it.
Okay, is there a way to would it see me if I went that way? Like if I went up and around?
So what exactly do you mean by up and around?
Like if I snuck around into the gate and into the garden, would it still see me?
Very likely. It's just a big open space, not exactly places to hide. You could cast the spell from one of the fountains, because that would be just barely within its range, but that's still the distance from the gate to the fountain to not be seen, which it seems to be looking in all directions at once and on constant vigilance.
So hypothetically, could I hide behind the fountain and cast my spell?
Yes, but you would have to get to the fountains first, like I said, and it's a big open area, so there's not exactly cover to get there.
Okay. I look to Gil. Should I try?
No. We either attack it or we leave.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Caro's kind of leaning up on one of the wall foundations to talk essentially from an elevated position down to you two.
Oh, hello, Caro.
Hello. I talked to a bird. It said we should not be seen. Which, fair.
What do you suggest? Do you think that we should fight this thing, or should we just let it go?
Well, the bird did not fly, which would seem strange for a bird.
Mm-hmm.
He simply walked close to the ground and quietly away.
Wait, say that again?
It walked closely and quietly.
No. Say exactly to me, exactly how you said, but
I see where they're going with this.
It did not fly away. I talked to a bird. Yeah.
No. You said.
Oh, close to the ground. Oh.
Yeah. No, I heard. You said it was close to the ground, right?
Yes.
So, hypothetically, this is just a guess. Perhaps, maybe we crawl? Or like, what is the thing that you do in the army?
Army
That is
crawl.
cool. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I'm not an army person. I'm a scholar.
You do that the army, it's like crawling, but you know.
It's like crawling, but with your elbows.
Arms.
I don't know what you just said, but we'll do that.
Like it's like crawling, but crawling.
Okay, so.
Well, it's like a certain way of crawling,
know,
so
I
you
know.
go
Yeah,
fast.
it's like a very certain way of crawling.
I know.
Either way.
Do you think that is a good idea?
Probably.
Either way.
If I can get to that, and she points to the to the fountain, I can try to make it leave.
Well, I had a thought. We need to destroy this.
Did they say they were going to crawl across the ground?
Pretty
Yes.
much. It seems like this.
Was Caleb still able to hear this?
Yeah, you guys can hear what they're saying, but you are all stealth, aside from Caro, who like broke their stealth to conversate.
Caleb seems like he's trying really hard not to break his stealth to say something about that plan.
But Gil's gonna say, we need to destroy the construct. Think if someone else comes through here. We're gonna leave innocent people to get attacked.
Okay, so we attack, but if we can get a surprise on it, I think that would be best.
You see all that red light?
Yes, but I also heard Caro say that the bird was close to the ground, so I think that if we crawl or we get close to the ground in a you know, like you do in the army, I think that would work.
One issue. The bird was behind cover. We're not.
I still think it would work.
Yeah. There's a lot of problems with it. Go ahead, do it. Yeah.
I just need to get there, Gil. And we can get one up on him.
Except, if we're on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
it shoots us.
If we get to the and she's like speaking slowly as if he's stupid. If we get to the fountain, I can cast magic and get one up on him.
But that's if we get there. You go out there on the ground.
Crawling.
They see you. automatic hit, automatic crit.
What is a crit?
It's gonna hurt.
Yeah. There you go. Better.
Look, I really, really have a good feeling about this.
Then let me test it.
I mean,
Let me see if this will work. If it works, follow.
Well, would you feel better if you were in front and I was behind you?
what do you say?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that. I'm gonna be right behind you in the crawl.
Thank you.
Gil's gonna shake his head like this isn't gonna work. But he's gonna get down and he's gonna army a crawl as fast as he can.
And I will follow.
Matthew, how stupid are they?
I know it's not gonna work.
Matt, you're muted if you're talking.
Yeah, you guys were still talking, so I was letting you finish. And to answer your question, Hunter, let's find out how stupid they are.
I mean,
That's what I meant, Matthew. Well, let's find out how stupid
actually,
they
the
are.
thing is,
Well, you asked me how stupid are they?
Well, yeah. As
Um,
in, let's find
As
out.
I said,
Yeah.
it's not gonna work.
we'll find
It
out.
I'm
might.
putting that out there.
It might.
Okay.
There's a hint from the DM, and I'm thinking it's gonna work. Leave me
Now,
alone.
can we play spets?
I'm pretty
No.
sure a bird can get a lot lower to the ground than you can.
We are as low as we can go. Okay, fight me.
All right.
How
Both
low
of
do
you,
go?
Caro, well, yeah, you weren't seen yet, so you can keep your previous roll. So as the rest of you start getting into position, if or when this plan goes south, Gil and Lucian, please make me stealth rolls with disadvantage because again, you're gonna have to get across the garden and there's nowhere to really actually hide.
So if shit goes south, do all the people who are stealth get in like
Yes,
an opening shot, basically?
yes.
And then initiative and then all that good shit.
And just, I don't want to ask this after the rolls and have everyone immediately freak out. Lucian, are you or are you not having tongues active?
I am.
Okay. Just checking.
Oh my god, no. Okay, so I got a natural 20, and then I got a. Was that 16?
Do they have
It was 18.
disadvantage?
It was
Yes.
18.
Yeah, because there's nowhere to hide.
Yeah, it was a natural 20 though.
But they're crawling, so I'm giving them that much.
Yeah,
We both have 18s.
yeah, we both wrote the same thing. 18.
Okay. All right. So the two of you drop and begin to crawl. You make it under the fences where there's that little lattice of stonework foundation to hide you at least. The rest of you start getting into position, ready for the potential for this plan to fail. Caleb, you pull the hammer back on your newly acquired firearm. Zephyr, you ready your crossbow.
It's
Kara,
just like resting it on like that top part of like a building, like the
Yeah.
part that's fixed up.
Caro, you ready your own crossbow, and you hear Raccoon ready their little whistle. And the two of you reach the gates and are currently closed, but they do not appear to be locked. You, Gil in front, give as gentle of a push as you can. The gates open, and you begin to crawl your way inside. And the two of you watching as the machine continues to rotate with its weapon still rotating. You two make it about halfway to the fountain when Lucian, you're able to understand this, but Gil, you just hear the same gobbledygook you've been hearing. And while Tongues doesn't identify the language, I don't think any of these spells do, so I will throw you a bone and say, combined with your scholarly background, you're able to recognize it's speaking Undercommon
Okay.
as it addresses leave this area. Primary warning.
It detected you. So they were pretty stupid.
I'm
But not
going
completely
to say.
stupid.
I'm going to say an undercommon. On whose authority?
Make a persuasion check at disadvantage.
You gotta persuade a robot.
I got a persuade a robot. Okay, let's see. Come on. D&D Beyond. Please do not do this to me right now. Okay. You said disadvantage?
Yeah, but you're saying this in undercommon, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Just
Okay,
checking.
okay. What was that first roll? 11?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had a really good roll, and I was like, okay, need to remember things. 11.
Okay. The machine, Gil, you're actually surprised to see it briefly falter, but it eventually speaks in undercommon, classified, and speaks this time in Elvish. Leave the area. Secondary warning.
I re-
Ooh. Gil would then say in Elvish, under the command of the deserters, I order you to power down.
Make a persuasion check, flat roll.
Does that mean no modifiers?
No, it just means not advantage, but not disadvantage either. I was clarifying since the last one was at disadvantage. So basically, I didn't want to be like, okay, you're making the exact same roll. Like,
I wonder if that is
Uh,
like an
Jeremy.
option for a DM to say you
30.
have.
It is.
I mean,
That
Yeah,
was Journey,
but they would just say
too.
roll a d20.
It rolled, and then it flipped over to 14, so he got a 30-20.
Okay. The machine stares. The gun. And finally, the gun stops. The red lights. Vroom, 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 vroom,
And it
vroom.
has no other form of identification.
The light clicks off, flicks back on with the same sterile white, but then those flick off. And this time the area is bathed in a very calming and soothing blue as the machine begins to rise back to its full height and the rotary cannon slots back onto its back as it corrects its stance, and it speaks in undercommon, but Lucian, you're able to understand it. Scorched Earth Protocol overridden.
Overridden?
What did it say?
Scorched Earth Protocol overridden.
Oh, you said overridden.
Mhm.
I will mutter to Jeremy what it said. Does this mean anything to you?
We're clear to come out.
I get up, and as soon as Gil gets up, I'm going to pull around and take him by his face and kiss him.
There were those of you in stealth see the machine appears to have calmed, and you don't know if you're free, but the two of them seem to be going to be left alone, and the machine
Caleb
simply.
is not going to chance it.
And you, as the two of you break your lip lock, you see the machine simply sit down between all of the stones, and the lights boom, 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 in all areas except for the front click off. And it simply looks to the two of you and tilts its head to the side, almost with the demeanor of a curious child.
I love it.
I'm shocked that
See,
they
Gil,
had no
when
other
you do
form of.
something good, you get rewarded.
Thank you.
I'm
And he's
shocked
gonna
that the
go
thing had.
inside the wreckage and look for the supplies.
Yeah, I'm gonna join them.
Okay, Gil, make me an investigation check with advantage, and also Hunter. I will point out that they responded in its native language, that it was on the orders of at least the people who gave it its paint job, if nothing else,
definitely.
because he responded in
Well,
Elvish.
seems very irresponsible to not have a secondary form of identification because anyone can speak undercommon
Well,
if they learn it.
Well, it would also be a very irresponsible of me as a DM to not give you guys some way to get out of this diplomatically.
Okay, 30-20.
Plus, there's in-universe reasons. And Gil, with Lucian's help, the two of you begin to search. I'll say while they're searching, what are the rest of you doing?
Caleb is not going to chance it.
I muttered to Gil, should I send somebody a message for them to stay low?
I think they got it.
Okay.
Caro, Zephyr.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait.
Okay. The four of you, Zephyr, did you have anything? Or?
Like, man, I want to do something stupid, but that wouldn't even be in character. So I just want to do something stupid. But no. Nothing. Yeah, absolutely nothing. Hello?
God, I had a great
Oh.
plan.
Well, we have time.
What? Oh.
Hello?
Hello?
Austin,
Hello?
Yes.
is
Okay.
your internet working now?
For now.
Okay.
Are you able to get the stream back up?
It'll pop up. It was still going
Okay,
technically.
there it is.
Okay, so Zephyr, do you have anything you'd like to do, or are you going to stay low with your brother?
Yeah. I had some stupid ideas, but it's like, man, I would just do it just for the sake of being stupid.
Do you want to do it? Okay. Gil and Lucian, the two of you begin to search. And as you begin to search through the rubble, Gil, you between the two of you, you're able to put together that given the direction the building fell, it'd make the most sense to check essentially the topmost parts of the wreckage, like closer to the street, since that would be where the attic would have been when the house collapsed. And you begin to find, it takes some time to dig through all the rubble, but you are able to find a pretty good amount of items, which I will go over in just a moment. But first, you hear as the machine begins to walk and almost kind of follows behind the two of you, but then it stops as it looks down, and you see, and you both turn for a
Hold
moment.
up, we lost the stream again.
What?
Awesome.
What? Yes? Do you
Uh,
hear me?
Hang on, I'm
no,
gonna
well,
refresh. Maybe it's
I can-
my end.
okay. Yeah, we can hear you fine. I was just checking. Anyways,
Okay.
you see the robot stop at what appears to be a rabbit, very shot and dead, and the head tilts to the side, and it kind of kneels down and kind of gently nudges it.
Recognizable as a rabbit?
Surprisingly, yes, it was a clean shot through one side. Um, and it kind of nudges it and tilts its head to the other side. And you hear a kind of low, and it gently, in a motion that's almost similar to petting the fallen lagomorph.
Oh. I
Why did you say lagomorph?
That's what a rabbit is,
Yeah.
No, why did you say that instead of just the rabbit?
so that I didn't say rabbit 6 times in the same sentence. Sounds better verbally.
It's just a
Did
rabbit.
he
You could've
say
said
anything,
bunny.
or is it just whistles, or or did he say something?
That appears to just be like in its own little beeps and bloops, and does not register on tongues.
Okay.
I want to pet the construct, like pat it gently.
That it.
We're gonna make a friend.
As you approach it, you gently run a hand along its armor is surprisingly warm, but you presume that's just because it's been baking in the summer sun. And it kind of turns and tilts its head, and it stands up. And getting a closer look at it now, you can see the cannons it's carrying on its back are almost your size.
Wow.
As its head kind of turns to look in either direction before stepping away from you, off towards further down the street, away from the manor.
Hmm.
What
You
would-
think we could get it to follow us?
Why would we do that?
You see how armored the thing is?
Yes, but it's under the impression that we're, these guys.
Exactly. It follows us. Great tool against the Scar Concord.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like a really good idea to me.
Well, we can't just leave it here. What if my father finds it?
He's like, "Can we keep it?"
I know, that's exactly what I feel like this is right now, and Lucian's just like, oh god. We can't, Gil. We can't control it.
We can program it.
Program it.
For the record, Gil, you've never even seen a robot before, or even
Oh,
heard
There's
of
no
one.
way you would know about
It
programming
follows
something.
orders.
It follows orders of the deserters. We are not deserters.
Technically, I am. So it will listen.
And if the day comes where it does not,
Then we destroy it.
I could see several flaws in this idea.
yeah, like there are equations going on in Lucian's brains right now.
Lucian, as you contemplate, it comes trundling back and holds out its mechanical hand, and you see two dandelions in its fingers being held out towards the two of you.
I would take one.
Don't do this to me, Matt.
It's
For the
like-
record, it's an interaction I'd had planned since this machine was introduced. That wasn't just me trying to tug on your heart.
I will take the dandelion. Is it?
And I'm
is
gonna
it
put
in
it in my
full
hair.
Is it in full bloom?
No, it appears to be very weak and unhealthy, sadly.
That's the place.
I will say an undercommon. Thank you.
The machine's head kind of swivels over to you, and its head tilts, and there's that kind of low whistle and like several chirps, and you can actually hear a small ding of an internal bell before it responds in undercommon. Thanks, delivered. And trundles past the two of you in the opposite direction, and its head swivels around, and from the looks of things, it appears to be just surveying the area while the two of you investigate.
I want to say in Elvish to it. We are about to be heading out soon. Would you like to come with us?
Gil.
Okay, you ask for permission and she doesn't give you an answer, so it's like that's a yes for you.
There's a silence as the machine simply stares at you and responds in Elvish. I have orders. Protect this area.
From what?
Protect this area.
It doesn't seem to really have specific orders, just to protect the area. In
And-
general, it sounds like.
Lucian, it speaks in undercommon. Gil, you're not able to understand what it says, but Lucian, you do. But it's a word you've never heard before. Protect this area. Atlantean invasion.
I've never heard that word ever.
No. Well, make me a history check at disadvantage.
Okay. I'm proficient in this.
Yeah, you're a scholar.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
this is some
What
pretty
the-
obscure
What
knowledge.
the fuck?
I told you about this before. I was surprised you didn't recognize it.
Oh my
16.
goodness.
You never told me about this.
And Lucian, you have heard they are to put it mildly, not around anymore. Atlantis was an empire back in the Second Age, closing in on thousands of years ago now.
Okay.
And you've never seen a machine like this before, but all you know from what local lore you've been able to pick up, it's less history books and more just mythology. At least from what you're familiar with, they were an ancient utopian empire that was widespread and powerful before simply vanishing one day.
Okay. I will say in Undercommon that that order is no longer valid. Which new orders? I wait.
The machine shakes its head and points towards the 5 stones. Reinforcements imminent.
Wait, he points to the
The stones that he was sitting among.
and he said reinforcements imminent.
Imminent.
So there's more.
Possibly.
I think there are more.
Oh yeah. There could be more, or he just told this, and so he's always believed it.
Matthew,
What's up?
I'm gonna say one word and you just give a response. Thuria?
Yes.
How imminent?
I say in Undercommon how intimate I can't say it right now. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You see or rather you hear a gear turning and its head tilts before responding in Undercommon. 2 days, 48 hours.
I tell Gil 48 hours. So we need to make haste. 2 days.
Well, thing is, did she tell me that I was from Atlantis?
Wait, what?
Did you
What?
mention the fact that it's from Atlantis?
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean,
She doesn't know it's from there. She just knows it
It
mentioned
says
it.
that it's protecting it from Atlanteans, but I've only heard stories of those. Like they're gone now.
Yes and no.
What do you mean by that? What? There is no yes and no. They've been gone for thousands of years.
But are still out there.
How do you know?
My people have been looking for them.
Would I know this? Is this
Make
common
a
knowledge?
make a history check with disadvantage.
Common knowledge that someone's looking for something.
Okay.
They're literally looking for the lost city of Atlantis.
20. Dirty 20.
You have heard legends from. This is a typically very well kept secret, but you know some people like to talk and gossip, and occasionally word reaches. And your father always did take an interest in the long dead empires of old. You know that the Geogrins have an interest in Second Age empires. However, the story you've always heard is not that they're looking for Atlantis, but that they're looking for another Second Age empire called Minotis, an ancient elvish empire that supposedly, from the legends you've heard, were the progenitors of the Geogrin Empire. But similar to Atlantis, gone. And the Geogrins have made it a personal goal of theirs, although this is, again, typically a well-guarded secret, that they have been intending to find their ancient homeland that they are convinced is still out there somewhere.
Okay. I'll kind of sigh heavily at this and shrug my shoulders. Nevertheless, here's the thing. It thinks that there's more of them. Like there's more of him around here. And they're supposed to be here in 2 days. So I think that we should take our chance, get all of the things that we can, take our friends, and leave.
Quick update. What are the rest of you doing?
Still keeping his gun aimed at this thing, just in case they screw up.
Okay. Zephyr,
Taylor
Carol.
will be the insurance.
The insurance.
Carol's kind of listening to the conversation, just like, yes. I don't know what any of this is.
Okay. Zephyr.
Wait, so we can hear them, right?
Yeah, like, they're not exactly like going out of their way to be quiet.
Okay.
And then that Lucian's voice carries.
But
You mean doesn't carry?
No, it carries.
No, okay. I thought you said I doubt Lucian's voice carries.
No, I said it's canon that her voice carries.
Okay. So yeah, just checking. Yeah. So you doing anything, Zephyr?
he's just going to sigh and just turning into a thing.
It just got great. There's a whole thing now. All right.
I was just here to blow up a robot.
Okay. If the two of you do not engage with it any further, the machine turns and begins to walk back towards the manor. And you see it gently step over any bodies of animals it comes across on the way before sitting in the middle of all of the stones. And its light stays on, but it simply comes to a rest there.
Is it still blue?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I say we take all of our stuff and we leave.
And on the way out, Gil's going to go back to the construct, and he's going to say in Elvish, by order of the deserters, re-engage town protection.
The machine tilts its head to the side and responds initially in Undercommon. Lucian, you're able to hear it as you continue to gather things from the rubble. Command unknown.
Just leave it, Gil.
I didn't know if we had to tell it anything.
No, just leave it. I will tell it in Undercommon. What did I want to say? I wanted to say, carry on, soldier.
The machine gives a small nod and just sits in place among the stones and waits.
We walk towards camp.
Okay.
With all of our goodies.
Yep. So you guys are just going to gather pretty much everything.
Yep.
Leave. All right. The rest of you see the two elves making their way back to camp. Do you wish to follow?
Sure. Well, I guess I was about to say, I almost about to mention oh man, but then I realized Zephyr didn't understand Gil.
Carol?
Yeah, I'll head back with him.
Okay. The four of you head away from the machine, and Lucian and Gil glancing back, you can see it lift its mechanical arm. Its hand does a little wave, and
Is it waving at us?
yeah,
I waved back.
So do I.
Oh my god, no. No.
You're gonna
Do
break
not
her.
make feels over a robot.
I mean, you can always go back and see what those reinforcements are all about.
Yeah.
I might.
I can talk to him, you know.
It's not a bad
Matthew,
idea.
I have to ask:
What's up?
did Bastion play a role in this thing?
Yes and no. It was more like it was more a practical thing. If anything, because remember I described it as looking akin to a diving suit. If anything, it's closer to the Big Daddies from BioShock. But yeah, Bastion's fairly similar, albeit with a lot more cannons on it.
I mean,
Which
Bastion has a Gatling gun.
I mean,
Mm.
Oh, okay. The
Anyway,
one from Overwatch. I was thinking of the
um,
game Bastion.
as
Yeah.
as we're, as
Overwatch
we're
Bastion.
walking, as we're walking, I want to look at Gil, and I'm going to say to him, while I still have tongues up, I'm going to say to him, "Can you understand me?
Yes.
We're speaking flawless, celestial."
Nice.
Okay.
I
Did you
don't get
notice that
it.
there's no accent?
Well, while we're speaking of celestial, I want to say one word.
wait, what?
Fuck.
He's not speaking it. She
You want
is.
to say fuck in celestial? Okay,
I
that's
think
fine.
she casted tongues on Gil.
I think it can go to anything, right?
I mean, you.
Well, no, you
are
don't
you?
change it. It
Yeah.
understands any spoken. You can understand any spoken language you hear, and when the target speaks, which is you in this case, any creature that knows at least one language can understand
Yeah.
what it's saying. So you can. So Gil can understand you speaking Celestial, but he can't speak it back to you.
So you just say fuck in common. Just Lucian just laughs. No.
Oh,
It'll work when you do it. It works only if I do it.
man.
Sorry. You know, maybe later, if before bedtime, I will cast it on you and you can talk in whatever language you want.
How that works. But okay.
That is my treat to you.
Whatever
not quite how
language
it
you
works.
want.
No, it is.
Not just any language you want.
Only if you speak it in celestial.
I'll speak celestial to you and then you can speak it.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that was clear. Sorry, I should have clarified, I guess.
It's like I don't think that's how it works.
Any
Watson
language
is like
you
our rules master.
Well,
He's like that
then-
guy. I mean, he's like that guy in Pirates of the Caribbean who had like the book.
There
Yeah.
are no rules.
All right. So
Oh, God.
I'd like.
as the two of you delightedly head back to camp, do those in stealth follow?
Yes, and I guess I will ask them a simple question. So
Okay.
why didn't we take care of it?
It's harmless.
It's
It's
harmless.
really it's hard to explain. It doesn't know what it's doing. It
Well.
thinks that the town is under attack from Atlanteans,
Okay.
and it thinks that there are more of it coming in 2 days. So even if we did take care of this one, we would have to take care of 2 more.
At least.
And I don't think that we have the manpower for that, or woman power either.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really. I have no preference over this town and who passed through
But
it.
it's friendly now.
I don't think. I'm not sure about that part.
It
Hey,
is.
Matthew,
It was more or
What's
less
up?
friendly to you.
would man and woman be the term for elves? Because isn't that usually referred to humans?
Yeah, but like for convenience, I'm willing to like say it's kind of whatever.
Right. Pretty sure it seemed like it was friendly to you. If like one of us went out there, would have probably seen us as hostile.
No, it thinks you townfolk.
I don't think.
No, I
Whatever.
think I'm with Zephyr on this one.
I
I don't
find it
think that
so-
works that way.
I
Either,
find it so weird that Gil is suddenly trying to be this thing's friend.
but nonetheless, again, I
It
have.
beat the
It
crap
did
out of
try
me.
to kill
I
him.
fucking love this thing.
I think that
I have no
that
concern
is,
over this thing.
you know, I don't have tongues up anymore, but I can translate Gil now. I think that is Gil for it beat me, so now I respect it. Yeah, see, it's not hard to understand.
But again, like I said, I have no care for this town and any who passed through it. More or less, I was just curious.
Well, I'm more curious as to what happened to the people. If that guy, that's what I'm going to call him now, he probably has a name. If that guy says that, you know, they passed through here and they didn't like kill anybody. What happened to the people? Why are they missing?
Didn't they say that all the halflings were killed by?
All of the halflings were, yes, but
Yeah, but
I'm
you guys
talking
came here
about,
looking for caravans that have been vanishing.
yeah, like they said that there were whole caravans missing.
And I will remind you, just so that we're clear, that Zephyr, you you could just kind of see this from observing, but Zephyr, you're the most kind of intimately familiar, that there are several abandoned caravans around the manor. Because remember, you hid in one of them and found a few leftover supplies.
Yeah.
Okay, so Matthew.
Yeah.
So she saw what happened to the people, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So can Caleb see the caravans?
Yeah, you're a bit of a distance away, but yeah, you can see several caravans.
Can I roll investigation for sleuthing?
Uh, so are you just trying to make a deduction, or are you trying to actually look for stuff?
Make a deduction.
Well, that's just your own initiative
Yeah,
then.
exactly.
Like, there's not really a stat for just thinking of a thing, basically.
Caleb. Okay. Caleb's gonna walk over where they all are.
Yeah. So, Caro,
And
you see
he's gonna
Zephyr
walk
and
up.
Caleb break
He's gonna
stealth.
walk up to the, because it seems like the robot is in its own little world now.
Yeah. Well, and you guys are getting far away from it at this point, anyway.
Caleb's gonna walk over. He's gonna see where are the caravans.
So you guys were able to see just several of them scattered around the manor, but you can most immediately from where you're walking, Caleb, see about 4 or 5 of them, essentially across the street from the manor, abandoned and burned.
Caleb's gonna look at the caravans and then he's gonna think. And I just want to see. I'm just gonna do a general intelligence roll to see if he could put 2 and 2 together.
Well, yeah, basically deductions are usually an in-character thing.
Well, I just want to see if he can put it together.
I mean, it's up to you. I was just pointing out you don't have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, mystery-based campaigns would be all luck, basically.
Okay. Caleb's gonna need some time to think on this.
Okay.
He rolled like crap, so it's gonna take him a little bit to put this together.
All right. And Caro, you see the rest of the party seems content to break their stealth. They're a distance away from the construct. What are you doing?
I will always come out. Not always. Also come out. There.
Okay. Caro, Garo, and Raccoon join all of you as Caleb, you ponder deep in thought. Lucian and Gil, you delightedly exchange with each other over your newfound mechanical friend.
I don't know what's coming because it's 12:45.
But also, I mean, just let me do my thing. But also ponder the meaning of whatever
Meaning of life.
potential reinforcements this machine may be expecting in the next 2 days. And with
Pondering
that,
the meaning of life.
that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
There it is.
No.
Can we at least have an idea of what we found?
Yeah, so I will say you didn't find anything magical, although you did find a potion. For the record, it'll just be when you get back to camp, you can go over your loot. So, don't immediately prepare this in character, but you found in total, give me a second. I gotta do some. I'll do this off screen, but then Gil and Lucian can comment on what they found when they get to camp. Just I doubt anyone at home wants to listen to me do math and recite a grocery list. But you guys were able to find a pretty good haul, all things considered, even if it's not the magic items Zephyr was expecting.
Questions. Where's that magic aura come?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a still unidentified magical aura, and you still haven't quite figured out what's been happening to the vanishing townsfolk. But with that, that's where we're going to end off. I hope you guys all had fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun.
I thought it was crazy that Gil tried to kill everyone.
What I do?
You've tried to initiate the protocol again, where he kills people.
Yeah, you initiated the
You were,
thing.
well, you were
You're like,
trying
oh,
to.
He
resume.
tried to.
Resume, protecting the city where he killed people.
But not us.
Can't
He did
protect
try
himself.
to kill you, though.
Yeah, not
But
smart, Jeremy.
it now realizes
Well, he
No,
doesn't know
no,
about
honey,
us.
honey, honey,
The thing
honey.
is,
I
he
don't
doesn't
think
know.
it
Honey.
realizes anything.
Well, first off, he doesn't.
it brought us flowers.
Yes.
Well, he also didn't remember you killing or you doing other stuff beforehand.
Yeah,
It
it
seems. But
doesn't
either way,
remember you.
plus
honey.
he doesn't know about the other party. He just knows what y'all do. So if he saw us, he would be like, "Oh, shoot."
Question mark?
Literally.
So, with that, that's where we're going to end tonight's session. I'm glad you guys had fun. Thanks you guys so much for playing. Thanks everyone at home so much for watching. And we'll see you all next week.